here at the National Marine Aquarium in Plymouth, where it is turtle time, which means our lovely Friday, the green turtle, is about to have his breakfast. Now we are at the top of our Atlantic Ocean tank, where we are all wearing these lovely masks now since we're open. We've got all of our staff back, so we've got some extra safety precautions in place, including for you guys when you visit. So please head to our website to check out what those are and pre-book your tickets as well. So let's see if we can attract Friday over with his target. So this red thing here, this is Friday's target. So he is trained that hopefully when he sees it, he will come over and basically expect a tasty treat. So let's see if he cooperates. If you guys have any questions at all, please just pop them in the comment section and we'll try and answer as many as we can. So the reason that we train Friday to this target is mainly for his health and well-being. So when we teach him what this target means, whenever he sees it, like I said, he'll come over. So it means that he'll come up nice and close, just like he is now. There he is. So he'll come up nice and close, and we can give him some food. That's not the food Friday. There we go. And by him coming up nice and close to us, we can carry out his health checks. So we can get him to spin around just like this. So we can see his whole body and his whole shell and make sure he's nice and healthy. But we can also carry out his enrichment. So by getting him to follow the target, it keeps him nice and active, and it gives him something to think about and something else to do. So whenever we give him his breakfast, we get him to follow the target around as we do it. Now we're feeding him salad today, so lots of different things you can see in there. We've got some lettuce, cucumber, peppers. Obviously in the wild, lettuce and cucumber does not float around in the ocean, don't worry. But these items have the same kind of nutritional value as what he would normally eat. So normally he would be eating something called seagrass. So as an adult green turtle, Friday is a herbivore. He's a vegetarian. So he would find seagrass and he would nibble on it. So he would graze on the seagrass. And when he grazes on the seagrass, he gets all the nutrients he needs, but he also does a really big favor to us as humans as well. So by nibbling on that seagrass, he helps it to grow nice and big and strong. And that seagrass helps us to fight climate change. So it takes in lots of carbon dioxide and gives out lots of oxygen. So turtles are really important for our health as humans. We've actually just opened up a seagrass lab here at the aquarium. So feel free to come down and see that as well. So how old is Friday? That's a great question. So Friday's in his late 30s. So he's about middle-aged because he'll probably live to be about 80 years old. Where would Friday live in the wild from Alice, aged 5? That's a great question. So most turtles that live in the sea, they like to live in really warm parts of the world. So kind of the Mediterranean, around the equator, lots of lovely places like that where the water's nice and warm. So that's where Friday would be found. All of those tropical places. We do get turtles here in the UK sometimes. We get leatherback turtles. Leatherback turtles are the biggest kind, and because they're so big, they can live in really cold places sometimes too. So that's why sometimes we get turtles in England, but for Friday, he likes really warm water. I don't blame him, I like warm water too. It's a bit chilly in England. How hard is his shell? Great question. So if you guys feel the back of your fingernails, if you give your fingernails a little feel, that is how hard his shell is. So it's made of the same thing. So he's basically got a giant fingernail stuck to his back, which sounds really gross, but that's essentially what it is. So it's made of keratin. So keratin is the stuff that our fingernails and our hair is made of, which means that it will continue to grow as the turtle grows. So they never have to get a new shell. It just gets bigger with them. So it's nice and solid, keeps them nice and protected. Where did Friday get his name from? So Friday actually came from a different aquarium here in England. And he's quite a big turtle, as you can see. Oh, and he's just got me soaking wet. Thank you for that, Friday. Nice and refreshing. So Friday's a massive turtle, and he got a little bit too big to live at the old aquarium. And so he came here, and he already had his name Friday when he came. I think it came from a children's book. There was a character called Friday, and they decided to name him after that character. Great questions though, guys, so keep them coming in. So sometimes Friday gets distracted by the other animals that are getting fed. He loves to steal their food. So even though he is a herbivore, he does like to steal squid from our stingrays and our sharks. So sometimes he gets a little smell of it, he gets a bit tempted, and he swims off. And we've got to try and get him back. So I'll just splash his target around a bit more. See if he will notice it and come back over. So we like to make noise with the target as well because he's got quite good hearing. And so if we splash it around, he might hear it and then see it, and then he'll be able to swim over. So Friday is a bit of a troublemaker in this tank. He does like to steal food. He also quite likes to chase our scuba divers when they go in here. So he likes a lot of attention, and he likes to cause a bit of chaos. Here we go, he's coming back. So when he comes back, we always reward him straight away with a piece of food, just so he knows to come back again if he gets distracted. So in the same tank as Friday, there are lots of other really cool animals. So this is the largest tank in the whole of the UK. So obviously Friday does not live here on his own. He's got lots of tank mates. So we've got our really big sharks, like our sand tiger sharks, our lemon shark. We've got some really big stingrays, our southern stingrays and our eagle rays, and lots of really cool fish as well. Here's one of our sandbar sharks just swimming past. Would a shark eat Friday? That's a great question. A shark would not eat Friday because he's so big, and particularly in the tank here. So a question we get asked all the time is, why don't your sharks eat your fish or attack your turtle? And it's a great question. And there are a couple of reasons for it. So one, Friday is so big, the sharks wouldn't be able to get him. He's also quite quick as well, believe it or not. He can move really quickly. But sharks are notoriously lazy animals. So even in the wild, they only really hunt fish or animals that are weak. So if an animal is injured or sick and it's causing it to swim really slowly, those are the ones that sharks like to go after because it's much easier for them. If they try and hunt a healthy animal that's really big and strong, they waste too much energy trying to catch it. So they don't want to do that because it's just a bit wasteful, there's no point. So they wait until they find an animal that's injured. So obviously in this setting, we can make sure that doesn't happen, and we can feed our sharks nice and regularly, and they are also target trained. So just like Friday is trained to this red hoop here, our sharks all have their very own targets that they associate with food. So they never really get distracted, they know where their food comes from, and there's just no point in them wasting all of that energy to try and hurt Friday or the other animals. What is Friday's favourite food? That's a great question. So we do give him this salad, which is what he's supposed to eat, so just like this in here. So a nice little mix, but to be honest, his favourite food is probably squid. So he's not meant to eat squid as an adult. As a baby, green turtles do eat a mix of both meat and vegetables. They're omnivores, but as an adult, they're supposed to just be herbivores. But Friday, he never really understood that. He's not quite grown out of that meat phase. So he does really love a nice bit of squid. Here we go, he's coming back. So you'll notice that as Friday swims up, he always kind of lifts his head out of the water and does a really big gasp. That's because Friday is a reptile, so he needs to breathe air. So he comes to the surface and takes a big gulp of air. But turtles can hold their breath for a really, really long time. So if he's sleeping, he can stay underwater for up to 7 hours without having to take a breath. If he's moving around, then probably only about 45 minutes. But since he normally spends his time near the surface of the tank, where all the action is, he breathes kind of every 10 or 15 minutes. Here we go. Some more tasty food. What names do the sharks have? So we've got 11 sharks in this tank. We have got a lemon shark named Citron. We've got 3 sand tiger sharks called Howardine, Ushaka and Mandala. We've got nurse sharks called Junior, Blondie and Florence. A zebra shark called Zeus. And we've also got 3 sandbar sharks. They're the ones that keep swimming past us here. Does he sleep? Friday does sleep. He actually loves to nap on the window that's above your head. So if you ever come and visit us, you get to go underneath this tank and there's a bit where the glass is above your head. And that is one of Friday's favorite places to nap. Our nurse sharks also like to nap there, and Friday will quite often push them out the way so he can get there because that's his favorite spot. So he'll normally nap for maybe 45 minutes to an hour at a time, and just kind of randomly throughout the day as well. How much does Friday eat during a day? That's a great question. So Friday has two whole peppers. He has half a cucumber. He has half a cauliflower, and he has a whole lettuce. And we feed him 3 times a day, so he gets food quite regularly. And whenever we feed him, we do something with him to make it a bit more fun. So either he follows the target just like this, or we've got toys that we put the food in and he has to try and get the food out. We've got a pulley system that runs across the top of the tank, and we can put his food in a bucket on that, and he has to follow it around across the whole tank, so he gets lots of great exercise there. This aquarium is in Plymouth, so it's in the southwest of England, right on the coast of Devon. So if you're in the area or if you're coming down on holiday, please do come and visit and say hello to Friday yourself. So to do that, you'll need to head to our website, and you can book your tickets online ahead of time, because we do now have a limited capacity to help make sure that everyone stays safe and enjoys their day as well. Now, sea turtles, other types of sea turtles, they don't all eat vegetables. Some of them eat other things like jellyfish. And sometimes they get confused with rubbish as well. So there was a recent study that actually found that because of how plastic breaks down, the smell of it smells like food to sea turtles. And so they're actually attracted to certain types of plastic because it smells like food. So you can make a huge difference with that and really help them out by just making sure that you get rid of your rubbish properly, or you recycle it or reuse it, and just clean up your beaches so that our turtles are attracted to what they should be eating, and not any nasty bits of plastic and things like that. Friday is beautiful. I agree with you, Caroline. He is a lovely turtle. He's a bit cheeky, but he is really, really sweet and really, really beautiful. Oops. Sorry, Friday, I'm struggling to pick up your cucumber. What is Friday's favorite toy? So Friday's favorite is actually this target. You can see it's got a couple of little bite marks on it. So he likes to play with it. He likes to bite onto it sometimes. And I think mainly because he just associates it the most with yummy, yummy food. So he just loves to follow it around, and whenever we pop it in the tank, he just comes over straight away. Sometimes he'll even come over if we're just stood around the edge of the tank, because he thinks that something fun's about to happen for him. Oh, this is our zebra shark Zeus, just getting in the way here. There we go. So Friday doesn't have a mate because in the wild, turtles are really, really solitary. So they only really meet up to have babies, particularly male turtles. They spend most of their time by themselves, in and around coral reefs and things like that, and out in the open ocean. They don't really spend very much time with other turtles. So something that people ask me a lot when they come here is, how do turtles find their way back to the beaches? So female turtles lay their eggs on the same beach that they hatched from. And it's something that scientists didn't really understand for a long time, is how do they find their way back to that specific beach? And it's because in turtles' brains, they've got a special little magnetic part. And it means that they can detect the magnetic fields of the Earth. So they can use that to follow the magnetic fields underneath the ground, and they can find their way back to a very specific beach, even if they're thousands and thousands of miles away. It's a really, really cool sense that they've got. How do you teach Friday to come to that specific target? That's a really good question. And we do it in the same way that we teach our sharks and our stingrays. So what we would do is we would start to give him his food and show him the target at the same time, so he gets familiar with it. And then we gradually build him up and up until we only give him the food when he's near his target. So he learned pretty quickly. And so do the sharks and a lot of the stingrays as well, because they learn from each other. So you start off by showing them the target and giving them food at the same time. And then eventually you give them the food next to the target. And then eventually they swim over to the target and you can just give them food when they're right next to it. And they learn that if they do that, if they come over, when they see that item, they'll be given their lunch. How many species of sea turtle are there? So there are 7 sea turtles all around the world, 7 different types. So Friday is a green turtle, so he's the second biggest type of turtle. So Friday has just about run out of his breakfast. So the rest of the food that's in here is for his lunchtime and his evening meal. So he does get fed 3 times a day. So we spread it out so he doesn't just gorge himself in one go. Because he's quite greedy and he would just carry on eating, and he'd get a little bit fat if we let him do that. So thank you so much for joining us. It's always really lovely for you guys to ask us questions and for us to be able to interact with you, especially those of you that don't live locally. But if you are down here on holiday and you'd like to come and visit us, please do so. Just head to the National Marine Aquarium website and you can book your tickets, and then you can come and say hi to Friday in person, and us and all of our lovely animals. So thank you so much for your support as well, and everyone that's already visited us, and we really, really appreciate it. And hopefully we will see you soon.